It says avoid legal snags by telling people they're being recorded. Just so you know, mate, you've been recorded. That's just come up.
I won't sue you or anything.
Oh no. Okay, so moving on to programming, can you explain what programming is?
In terms of, we have to think of it as a dose response. So we give a dose of exercise prescription. Clinical setting, we call that exercise prescription. We talked a little bit about that in remote coaching. That's what it is. So if you think of like a medication that your physician would prescribe to you, that's essentially what we're doing as exercise physiologists or enthusiasts and influencers. We're going to prescribe an exercise prescription to you for you to do based off your personal goals. So that's what we do here at Victory Strength. Individual design or even templated. There's templates out there that people can purchase for 30-day, exercise prescriptions or dumbbell-only workouts, things like that. That's what programming is. It's somebody that is sitting down, writing an exercise dose for you to implement in the gym, and then we track what type of response that you get from that. So whether or not you lose weight, you lose body fat, you gain muscle, endurance, muscle strength, hypertrophy, so you gain muscle mass. So it's always that dose and then response. That look like a ton of different ranges of things. So a dose response could be, or a dose of exercise could be, biking 5,000 meters on your own bike or on a stationary bike. It could also mean you're doing back squat, rowing, and then pull-ups. Different types of programs are out there, and that it doesn't have to be a certain way. It doesn't have to be programmed a certain way. But in our opinion, individualized is going to be the best route for you because it takes everything considered about you. And it kind of shuts out everything else that's out in the world, and we focus on exactly what you want.
That's quality, man. That's a brilliant way of summing it all up. So just touch on what you said last about it being individualized. Like from my ideas, it needs to be individualized for beginners because you've got the other end of the spectrum. You've got like Kai Green and people like that, or even Marcus Philly or Matt Fraser. They're not going to have a sustainable program that you can follow as a beginner. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. So those guys have been training for a long time. Somebody that's new and comes along and just sees that. Let's talk CrossFit Games, for example. Those freaking athletes, right? They do that full time. Maybe some of them don't. Some of the lower level athletes that still make it to the games, maybe they're still having to hustle and work, full time. I think anymore now, I would say I don't know a whole lot, about all the athletes that are qualifying for the games, but I'm guessing there's very minimal of them that aren't doing that full time. The reason is just the bar is just continuing to rise. Like Matt Fraser, right? He's been training a long time. He's got a lot of experience. So his type of workout, if he were to sell his workout, very few people would be able to do it and actually see results, right? He trains all day long pretty much. So that's not realistic for somebody that works, a 9-to-5 job, or they've got kids at home that keep you up at night so you're not sleeping very well, and then you're trying to do Matt Fraser's program.
Stress upon stress upon stress, and then stress,
so we have to, and I like how you point that out, exercise is stress, so it's an added stress to the human body. In the right dose, it can be beneficial. Too much of it, it can be detrimental.
Definitely. That's quality, man. So just effectively, the end result, the worst case scenario is, well, one, you get no training response. On the other end of the spectrum, you get too much of a training response and you get injured. And then like you said about getting DOMs, or you getting those effectively an opportunity to lose out on training because you couldn't put the work in to suit your own needs. So you've lost out on training regarding just because you'd want to try someone's plan that you've seen, some advanced athlete's plan that you've seen online. That I feel the same way. Sometimes I get people asking me, or following either my program or workout put up, or you'll see like certain bodybuilders, they're like, oh, I've done this person's workout and I couldn't train for 2 days. Like, well, that's 2 days lost, isn't it? That'd be the worst thing ever for me. Like, I couldn't go to the gym tomorrow because I'm injured.
I think what I would tell a beginner too that isn't going to go the individual design route, because in the reality it's a more costly. It's more expensive.
Yeah.
So it's more work on the coach's end. It definitely works because it's specific to you, but I get it that it's not for everybody, or nobody really cares enough to have a professional personalized coach. But I would say to the beginner that is just going to follow even like a templated program, or even myself, I actually enrolled in Awaken Training Series at Revival Strength.
Oh, nice.
Minute decision, kind of going through a phase of life where I need to kind of have some more structure with my training and help grow my business. Not really have to think for myself. Kind of just a refresher too for my body and everything. So I'm in that. So it's a templated program, but the way that Marcus has programmed that and the team there at Revival Strength is to build you up, right? So it starts very minimally. But even myself in day one, kind of dealing with just a little bit of a lower back injury, and not necessarily an injury, but just kind of something I've been dealing with this week. To have the knowledge to be able to scale yourself and know when to scale, even on a templated program, I think is key.
Yes, definitely.
Because they prescribe something, and I learned this from Revival Strength. Like they will tell you, like, don't be afraid to scale it, because it's that way you can individualize it to you without having the whole individualized coach.
Yeah.
So even on day one, like I've had to, yesterday I had to scale one of the movements just a little bit to prevent my lower back from kind of going into the
But that's where the body awareness comes in, doesn't it? You knew that movement is going to aggravate it, and that's where your knowledge helped you out in individualizing that.
Because if you're not comfortable, you can definitely start to think, okay, if I don't do this exactly how they prescribe it, then I'm not going to get the results that I paid for. And it comes back to that body awareness. So if you've got something that you know you can't do safely, effectively, then being able to, and that takes time too, just to have the awareness and the knowledge of, okay, I can't do that, but what movement could I do to get very similar stimulus in order to continue with the program?
And that goes right back to building the foundations, doesn't it? I forgot to mention, actually, so what are your thoughts on GPP, so general physical preparedness, and where do you think that sits in the commercial gym? Like, if you're someone who's going to the gym, would you feel that would be something that would be promoted, or would you think it's something that they'd probably push away?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me pull up that's actually something that I had never really done a lot of research on, to be honest. And you can cut it out if you want. Or not. I honestly had to look it up. I'm like, what's he talking about there?
Yeah. So I'll give you a bit of background. So, effectively, in the Soviet Union, before they specialised in any kind of sport or weightlifting or anything like that, they stick to the fundamental movements. So, pretty much the functional bodybuilding, the crawls, the carries, the hangs, the L-sits, all things like that, just to get your body so it's effectively evenly distributed. The strength is evenly distributed. You've got a clear awareness of where your body is in space, and you can hang from a bar for 10 seconds. You can hold 2 kettlebells in your hands for 30 seconds. You can sit in an L-sit for 20 seconds. All of those is key. So that it's aligned and kind of and a strong holistic body.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When I was doing some research on it, just the idea that like the push, the pull, the hinge, the squat, the hang, the carry, those type of movements. What I really pulled from that I think in any program, those things need to be implemented for sure. Strictly stick to the Globo Gym type of resistance training machines. Chances are we get on those because we're expecting when we get on them, if we just basically strap in and we start moving, our body's going to change. And so we're really not connecting with our brain to what we're actually doing, and we're fixed to something, so we're not having to control the rest of our body while we move. Even some of those, they've got belts on those things, man.
Yeah.
They'll lock you in. So
enjoy the ride,
taking away the purpose of, I want to control my body in space, because when I leave this gym, I'm going to have to do that.
Yeah.
My kid up, I'm going to have to learn how to squat properly so I don't throw my back out.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important, is to implement those, even in Globo gyms. And every Globo gym out there, guarantee has dumbbells, has barbells. And it's just whether or not you want to choose to do the more simple movements, in my opinion, but they give a better effective dose for sure.
Yeah. I think Ross Edgley said it brilliantly. He said, people are learning to curl before they deadlift. And I think that's true.